Welcome to LearnLogicPro.com. We're going to look at the Ultra Beat. So I've opened up an arrange template just with one instrument in it, and I've got an Ultra Beat here. So to look at the user interface of the Ultra Beat, you simply double click on the channel strip on the bottom left corner if it's disappeared. So here's the Ultra Beat. Now in every plugin at the top you have an option for bypassing, comparing if you make an adjustment. If I adjust that, the compare changes, and that way I can go back and forth and compare any changes. Linking allows you to link your plugin to the arrange window. You have different view options, show channel strip options, and insert options for any of the inserts. So you can see all what's on the channel strip and move around them very quickly, just like this. Over on the right hand side we have side chaining, which allows you to pump in a source from outside. Say for instance you side chain a loop through this drum machine. You can bypass. Here are all the presets that are built into Logic. As long as you've got this selected in the library, it'll show you the same list of presets, and you can copy and paste presets as well if you want to duplicate them. As you look at the user interface, at the top we have voice auto select on or off. You can import here different kits by clicking import. We've got MIDI controller information for the mod wheel. What does it do? What does the pitch bend do? Touch. So you have a means of which to assign MIDI controllers to different aspects of the drum machine up at the top. Moving down on the left hand side you have the piano roll. It shows you all the sounds that are in this particular kit, starting at the bottom with the pulse kick. This blue represents the volume, and you'll notice if I click and drag you can move this up and down, changing the volume of just that sound. Next to it you have a mute and a solo, being able to mute or solo any one part and pan that part left or right. You can also send this out to different auxiliaries in the mixing board, and you can send out to an auxiliary and add that auxiliary in the mixing board, and I'll show that in a multi-channel version movie of the Ultra Beat. As you move up, these are all the different sounds, and you'll notice as I select on a different sound, this whole area changes based on the preset. Now here you have 3 sound sources, and this button here powers up each sound source. So essentially you can layer 3 sounds on top of each other. So this red section deals with just the sound. Okay? To the right of this it deals with just the LFO, and you have 2 LFOs available to you. Below here you have some options for the overall volume, the different panning and bands. You also have an option for what is the trigger, if it's a multi-trigger, if it's grouped or not, and if it's gated. Below there you have the envelope for each of the sounds, so you can make it shorter or longer based on adjusting the envelope. You can also make it going backwards, obviously, by adjusting your attack. And so this is essentially this sound engine, and again any one section can be powered up to produce a sound. Now in this section and this section here you can load in an oscillator, FM synth, and sidechain source. Below here you can load in an oscillator, a sample, a wave sample, or you can do physical modeling as well. So these are the 2 oscillators. In this you can add some noise for a good snare sound or a good crisp hi-hat. You can add the noise here. And in the center you have the filter. So this is your filter, if it's high pass, band pass, low pass, and what the filter is, the cutoff and the resonance. At the bottom it has a sequencer built into the product. You have essentially the power button for the sequencer and a play button for that sequence. As it starts to play you have 32 steps, and you'll notice that the swing is turned on and there's an accent. An accent or a swing, first the swing allows it to just basically push the quantization of the notes so it slightly swings and gives a little bit of groove. The accent allows you to put an accent or highlight any particular sound, making it louder when you accent it here. You also have below this, you also have, if you're in step mode, edit mode, or voice mode. In step mode you can assign these knobs and go in and do basically step sequences with each of the actual parameters. Here you have the pattern grid. Once you've written a pattern, you can drag that pattern right into the timeline. Here are all the sequences that you can program. You have up to 24 options. They have sequenced 12 of them for you, and that's what represents the SQ for sequence. Here as well, you'll notice on the actual sounds you have SQ, and that does represent that it is being used for a sequence. As you keep going, this is the length of the actual part. You have 32 steps, and that is the 32 steps. You also have resolution. This is your basically step resolution. Pattern mode, on and off. You can actually trigger these patterns with a MIDI controller. And as you move up and down the MIDI controller, you're actually triggering the patterns. Instead of doing it like individual hits, you're actually triggering a pattern. You have one-shot triggering, sustain, triggering, toggle on, and toggle on step 1. And next to this you have the voice mute mode, on or off, and full view. If I select full view, this gives you a full view of this sequencer, allowing you to step notes in very simply, just like this. I found that it's quite neat. You can click and drag as well if you want to add notes all in 16th steps all the way up the timeline, just like that. You can just click and drag just like that. Okay? And that's a basic overview of the Ultrabeat in Logic Pro 8 at learnlogicpro.com.